Slide 14, Lesson 1, the BGD-KFT letters. And what are the BGD-KFT letters? Well, they're letters that have dots in them. These can have a hard sound with a dot inside or a soft sound, no dot. So they're called BGD-KFT because the 6 letters that can have dots in them for a hard or a soft sound are the letters Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Kaf, Pei, and Tav. So the hard sound for the Beit is B as in boy, or V as in vine. By the way, I say Beit, but it's really Bet. So it's the Bet has a hard sound, B as in boy, and it has a V, a soft sound, V as in vine. So when it's got a hard sound with the dot in it, signified by the dot in it, it's pronounced B. So it's called a bet. But when it does not have a dot in it, it is pronounced with a soft sound, V, as in vine. And so the bet is called a vet with a V. Oh, the next letter is the Gimel, and it has a G sound as in God, G. And the soft sound is more of a GH, a Ga, as in the English word aghast. Aghast. It's just a slightly softer G sound. And I confess that I don't make too much of a differentiation between the two. But certainly with the bet and the vet, it's very noticeable. Now the Dalet, that also has a hard and soft sound, D as in day for the hard sound, and Da as in the without a dot. Again, I don't make too much of a differentiation between those two either, but I do make a differentiation on the Kaf. The Kaf with a dot in it, with a dagesh in it, is a K as in king. So it's Kaf. And without a dagesh in it, it is a Ch sound. A Ch sound, as in Bach. Johann Sebastian Bach. So it's a Ch, or Loch, as in Loch Ness Monster, the Scottish word Loch for lake. Okay, and the Pei can have a hard sound, so it's a P as in pastor, so it's Pei, P. Now it has a soft sound, it's a F, F as in phone or alphabet. So it's a Pei, P, or a Fei, F. And so we have this same hard and soft P in English because we have a P and then we have PH, which is a F sound. And the last one is the Tav with the dagesh in it, the dot in it. It is T as in toy, and without a dot, it is Th as in thin. So we have names like Jonathan and Bethlehem and Bethel. Now, in modern Hebrew pronunciation, which I tend to follow as best I can, there is no difference between the tav with a dot in it and a tav without it. They're both pronounced in modern Hebrew as a t sound, not as a th sound. So actually the name Jonathan in Hebrew is Yehonatan in modern Hebrew pronunciation. And the name Bethel in modern Hebrew is Beit El. Beit El. So it's not a th, it's not Beth-El, it's Beit El. And Bethlehem is Bethlehem in modern Hebrew. So I tend to stick with the modern pronunciation because the Jews are in the land and that's the way they've decided to do it, and we come later on, the lost tribes. So the dot is called a dagesh lene, dagesh lene, and in Hebrew they say dagesh kishin or dagesh kal. And dagesh is just a Hebrew verb that means to stress or to emphasize. So that's what the dot does. It stresses, it emphasizes the letter. So instead of a soft V, it's a hard B for bet. The dot can also be used to signify a doubling of the letter, in which case it is called a dagesh forte. So, we've had a look at the BGD-KFT letters here. But that same dot can be used in other letters, and instead of making it a hard or soft sound, it actually doubles the letter. So it's still emphasizing it. So instead of writing two chets, two tavs, or two shins, that's a better example. Instead of writing two shins, you just put one shin, but you put a dot in it. And in that case, because it's not one of these BGD-KFT letters, the dagesh is not a dagesh lene, it's a dagesh forte, and it means a doubling of the letter. So it is placed in any letter except the aleph, the hay, the chet, the ayin, or the resh. Any letter except these gutturals. These have a guttural sound, a breathing sort of sound, and so you can't really double that. So how do we tell the difference? Well, there are three rules used to distinguish between a dagesh lene, only in BGD-KFT letter, and a dagesh forte, used for doubling the letter. A dot in any letter other than a BGD-KFT letter is a dagesh forte and indicates the doubling of that letter. A dot in a BGD-KFT letter will be a dagesh lene whenever that letter is not immediately preceded by a vowel. And a dot in a BGD-KFT letter will be a dagesh forte whenever that letter is immediately preceded by a vowel. So that's the rules for differentiating between a dagesh forte, which is to do with doubling the letter, and a dagesh lene, which is to do with a hard or soft sound. And don't worry if this is all a little bit confusing. Try to understand this slide as best you can, and you'll see it in operation through the lessons. Slide 15, Lesson 1, Letters with Final Forms. There are 5 letters that are written differently when at the end of a word. These are called final forms. I mentioned these earlier when we had a look at the Hebrew alphabet. They are Kaf, Mem, Nun, Pei, and Tzadeh. These 5 letters have what's called a final form. When they're written at the end of a word, they appear differently. They're written or drawn differently. For example, the word for road, derek, ends in a kaf, but because it's at the end of the letter, instead of going around like a regular kaf, it actually goes straight down. That's called the final kaf. You can see a kaf at the beginning of this word kesef, and it has the regular form. So if the letter, any of these 5 letters appears anywhere in the word except at the end, anywhere at the beginning or middle, anywhere in the word except the end, it'll appear in the regular form. But if it is at the end of the word, it will have the final form. So derek has a kaf on it, but it doesn't look like the regular kaf, it's the final form kaf, because it's at the end of the word. Similarly, the word amim peoples or nations, has a final mem at the end. Because it's at the end of the word, it doesn't appear like this. Of course, this word has another mem, this one I'm pointing to here, and because it's in the middle of the word or and not at the end, then this one appears like a regular mem. Similarly, the word zaken has a final nun at the end. We don't spell it or draw it with this nun here, the regular nun at the end, but because it's at the end, we draw this form, the final nun. The word kesef here, it starts with a kaf. So because it's starting with a kaf, it's the regular form of the kaf, and it has a samak and a pei, and it's a final pei or a pei sofit. It's another name for the final letters. The word sofit just means end or final, so it's a pei sofit. It's a final pei. And the word aretz, Aleph, Resh, Zadi. And Zadi, the final form, appears at the end. Okay, so you don't write that when it's on the end of the sentence, word. It has this form with the tail going straight down. So that's final forms, just something to be aware of. There are 5 letters that are written differently when they are at the end of a word. Slide 16, Lesson 1, the Aleph Bet Song. This is a very catchy song that we're going to play shortly, and it'll help you to memorize the Aleph Bet. Now there are this chorus is sung a number of times, and it's so catchy, almost annoyingly catchy, and it really does get into you, and it helps you to remember the names of the letters. And you can print it out. There's a PDF, Adobe Acrobat file on the disk with all the slides for your convenience. You can print them out, and you can practice singing the song. Perhaps you'd like it in your congregation as one of the songs, just to help you memorize the words, the letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Now I've put in the final forms in brackets in red, but they're not actually part of the song. You don't actually say these. So those words in italic and red, they're not actually part of the song. They're just there for your convenience, so you can see the 5 final forms. In the song, the letter bait is said bait and then vait. That's the hard and the soft sound. The hard b and the soft v, but it's the same letter. The same with the kaf. It's yod chaf kaf. There's the soft sound and the hard sound with the dot in it. Likewise, pei fei. Pei fei. And the letter shin is mentioned twice. It's called shin and then sin, the 2 forms of the same letter. One's got a dot on the right hand side, that's shin, it's got a sh sound, and one on the left hand side, and it's called sin. So when the dot is on the left hand side of the letter shin, it's called sin. And tav, by the way, has a hard and a soft sound, but in modern Hebrew it's just called tav. It's not called thav. The soft sound is th, where we get names like Bethlehem, Jonathan, and so on and so forth. But in modern Hebrew it's Bet Lechem, so there's no th in it anymore. So let's proceed now with the Aleph Bet song.